The Chinese people today enjoy higher standards of living and a more vibrant society. But how to make government accountable, how to curtail corruption, how to be more democratic. Call it political reform or call it civil society. China has new leaders, but are the Chinese people real citizens? China, the largest population on Earth, the greatest transformation in history. Yet, change causes problems. This year, China has new leaders. Here are the challenges they face. China's challenges. I'm Robert Lawrence Kuhn. Every 5 years, the National Congress of the Communist Party of China is held to review the past and to plan the future. I look back on my more than 20 years coming to China, and without doubt, the Chinese people today enjoy much higher standards of living, active involvement in expression, and a more vibrant, tolerant society. But with one ruling party, how to involve the people in the process of governance, how to make government more transparent and more accountable, how to curtail the scourge of corruption, how, in short, to make Chinese society more democratic. 2 weeks after becoming China's most senior leader, Communist Party General Secretary Xi Jinping proclaimed, "The Chinese dream is to achieve the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation."
为中国梦，我以为实现中华民族的伟大复兴，就是中华民族近代最伟大的中国梦。
Call it political reform or call it civil society. This challenge is what China's new leaders face. I'm Robert Lawrence Kuhn. I've worked with China and its leaders for 25 years. I wrote the book, How China's Leaders Think. In this episode of China's Challenges, I ask, are the Chinese people real citizens? China's internet has no freedom. That's what Westerners assume. To be sure, some foreign social networking and video sites are blocked in China, including Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, along with certain news sites. This censorship is taken as evidence that government control is total and that no dissenting voices are heard. The reality, however, is more complex. The true story of China's social media is startling. It is not so much that the Chinese government is controlling the internet, but that the internet is transforming the Chinese process of governance. New media is changing China. Microblogs, weibo, China's social media, has become a chief source for news and a primary platform for opinion. Because of weibo, the Chinese version of Facebook and Twitter, the Chinese people are more aware of their rights, demand more transparency and truth, and are more empowered to seek justice and effect change. The New York Times recognized that, despite restriction, microblogs catch on in China. When millions of users focus on an issue, an influence group is formed. The government must pay attention. A case in point is Qinlin, whose story came to affect all Shanghai. Qingling is a young high school teacher. Every time he passes a hospital, he feels sad because he cannot help recalling his father's unbearable suffering.
12月30号被查出来肺部有阴影，然后到1月18号那天下午，就是我父亲确诊了，是肺癌。然后那时候压力挺大的，因为毕竟我只是一个刚刚入职的青年老师，然后自己身边的亲戚朋友也是普通人，所以我们当时求医问药的时候，更多只不过是医生怎么说我们就怎么做吧。但是一路走下来，看着父亲越来越痛苦，内心的这个真的不好受吧。
One night, after his father had been shuttled between hospitals for the 4th time due to chronic shortages of medical resources, Qingling wrote an open letter to Yu Zhensheng, the Shanghai Party secretary, and posted it on his microblog. I want to meet this extraordinary young man who caught the attention of a Politburo member.
I don't meant to arouse the Yu Shuji's his attention. No. That's not my goal. I just want to post it to make a memory of it, of this time, of this hard time.
In his open letter, Qingling listed many problems, like hospitals discharging dying patients and scalpers selling hospital appointments. Thousands forwarded Qing's letter, and government officials took notice. 2 days later, Shanghai City Weibo posted Secretary Yu's reply. I've had a heavy heart since I received the letter from Qingling, the secretary wrote. Every human being has parents and family. When they're suffering from diseases, if we can't do anything to help them because of some system defects, we all will feel the agony. Secretary Yu agreed with Qing's appeals, especially caring for terminal cancer patients and further reform. And then Secretary Yu Zhensheng posted Weibo.
Yeah.
Did that surprise you?
Yeah, before he posted Weibo, she just gave me a phone call.
He called you?
Yeah, he said, I'm Yu Zhensheng. I am Yu Zhensheng. And I like you to know you are not alone. And I want you to know we all care about your family.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. His word made me feel I'm not alone. The leader is also ordinary people,
Yeah,
so
right.
they can feel what the people think and what people feel.
But because of the power of Weibo and the
Yeah.
internet, individuals like yourself can have a big impact on Chinese society. Isn't this a big story?
Yeah, I see. Thank you in this situation.
But here you're an ordinary teacher,
Yeah.
and you suddenly have power.
I think the power not belong to me, belong to the public.
Right. Within 3 months, Shanghai upgraded hospice care, including dedicated hospital beds. Several serious diseases, including lung cancer, are now covered by medical insurance. Lu Xuemei, director of publicity of the Shanghai Health Bureau, was the first to notice Qingling's letter. Were you and everyone else surprised to see Secretary Yu personally getting involved?
网友的反应普遍都觉得我们于正生书记比较亲民，然后呢，就是说希望我们卫生系统能够在制度化建设上面能够进一步做好我们癌症晚期病人的一些工作。
I speak with Xu Jianguang, chief of the Shanghai Health Bureau.
我觉得秦林老师提的问题确实是卫生行政管理部门必须要研究、必须要考虑解决的问题。微博网络确实是在现代的卫生 管理，特别是在我们跟市民百姓沟通当中起了个非常重要的作用。我们的政务微博及时的回应整个市民百姓对我们上海健康上海城市建设的各种各样的意见和诉求。
After years of public appeals, which grew stronger through the power of social media, the government responded by issuing new policies. As an untraditional channel, microblogs play an important role in this event. Microblogs are disruptive and there is no turning back. Common people now assume a direct say in policy and reforms, and government must reach out to citizens. There are more than 20,000 government interactive websites across China, such as Shanghai Publication, which links many municipal departments. The goal is better, more responsive social services and administration. With microblogs, everyone observes and acts as independent media, creating a radically new form of public oversight of government.
动车第301和第3115次列车发生了追尾，4节车厢掉下了高架桥。网友杨卷圈杨在事故发生后的20点47分发出了第一条求救微博。
In 2011, 2 trains collided in Wenzhou, killing 40 and injuring 192. Microblogs enabled the public to ascertain facts and express feelings, even to mobilize doctors, lawyers, and engineers. Netizens, furious, criticized the government, accusing officials of cover-up. In the same year, a young woman with the username of Gourmet Baby flaunted her riches online, claiming to live in a luxurious villa and drive a Maserati. Microblogs went ballistic as she was supposedly working for the Red Cross. Although the Red Cross denied any relationship, the damage was done and donations declined sharply. The incident led to broad investigations of state-run charities. Moreover, some netizens have become righteous vigilantes, cruising the internet to name and to shame all kinds of dishonesty. As a result, all charities must now adhere to higher standards. For example, in Zhejiang province, a charity called Shilewei uses the internet to create a donation platform that is completely transparent. Shilewei Secretary General Feng Lo explains.
的捐助模式是 C2C 点对点的这个捐助模式。那受助人和捐助人同时会在施乐会上拥有自己专属的施乐会账号，捐助人可以通过施乐会账号给这个受助人捐款。那受助人呢，在获得捐款之后，可以把这个捐款提取到自己的银行卡中。
Most charities fear the internet, but Shilewei uses the internet to build donor confidence. Every step in the charitable process is recorded and posted online. There are no secrets. To guard against favoritism or personal deals, volunteers do not come from local areas. And when they deliver donations, which were collected online, they must have 5 local witnesses.
现场的捐助给他1200块钱，这个钱你要作为一个证人，就是说你要帮他点一下，
谢谢，
你点一下，
我点一下，
对你是证明人，你必须要帮他见证过，这个钱是不是拿到手了。
The volunteers then upload records, receipts, photos to the charity's website, itemizing all expenses like travel. In this way, Shilewei makes the donation system completely transparent, open to everyone, ensuring that every penny is traceable. Although charities in China have a checkered reputation, Shilewei is winning donor trust.
07年总捐款额是16万多，08年是46万多，09年是60万，10年是271万，11年是918万，12年我预计是2000万以上。
What about scams? Those who pretend to be in need, volunteers who take kickbacks. Shulaway verifies every case independently. Separate staff make about 6 phone calls to confirm critical facts.
马修玉垫付了多少钱？李美祥
1500块钱。
1500块钱是吧？
啊，对。
哦，当时您是在现场的对吧？
当时我在现场。
哦，照片里也是有拍进去的是吗？
啊，对，有。
好的，好的。哦。
Nonetheless, suspicion remains. The Chinese public is jaded from so many charitable cheats. Trust is built slowly, but destroyed rapidly. Charities like Shulaway are changing China. On November 15, 2012, when first taking office as General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, China's new, most senior leader, Xi Jinping, warned the problems among party members and officials of corruption, taking bribes, being out of touch with the people, undue emphasis on formalities and bureaucracy must be addressed with great efforts.
清醒之下，我们党面临着许多严峻挑战，党内存在着许多亟待解决的问题。
Within a month of Secretary Xi's inauguration, many officials were investigated for corruption or removed. How did so much corruption get discovered so quickly? How did the government do it? The government did not do it. The people did it through weibo, social media. For example, in November 2012, a video was leaked online showing Lei Zhengfu, the party chief of Beibei district in the city of Chongqing, having sex with a young woman. Although he denied it, the city disciplinary authorities began a probe, and 63 hours after the video was posted, Lei Zhengfu was sacked. In August 2012, at a fatal bus crash scene, netizen noticed in one of the photos a grinning official, a Mr. Yang. His inappropriate expression aroused public indignation, even though Yang claimed that he was smiling to comfort his colleagues. Yang then found himself targeted by citizen vigilantes, who surfaced numerous photos showing Yang wearing 11 luxury wristwatches. Yang claimed he had purchased the watches with his own salary, but netizens argued that a public servant could not possibly afford such expensive watches. And 27 days after the first photo had been exposed, Yang was fired. In December 2012, a whistleblowing microblogger accused Jai Zhengfeng, a former housing official in Hunan province, of corruption. The microblogger said Jai's daughter owned 11 houses. A task force formed to investigate found that Jai's family owned 24 houses. In less than a month, Jai was arrested.
网络监督的话呢，它有效地激发了公民参政议政的一个积极性，并且对腐败分子产生了强大的威慑力。但是呢，它也存在着负面效应啊，有可能会损害当事人的隐私权啊。那么对政府而言呢，也有可能会被不法分子呢滥用以后，加剧了人们对政府的不信任感。
It would have seemed unimaginable that a kingdom of debate and criticism as microblogs are called here, could appear in China. The question is, will citizen expectations, unprecedented and unstoppable, outrun government delivery? What is certain is that microblogs give China the chance to create a state system that is transparent, fair, and just. Transparency. Nothing in theory is more vital for China's political reform. Little in practice is harder to implement. In July 2012, 92 central government departments and public institutions reported their expenditures online. Prior, the government budget, at all levels, was concealed. Taxpayers had no way to find out how their money was spent. This is now changing, as scholars, activists, and some officials demand financial transparency. The required disclosure of the 3 public consumptions oversees trips, vehicle purchases, and official receptions is a step forward in protecting people's right to know and to supervise. Professor Jiang Hong at Shanghai University of Finance and Economics is a relentless advocate of budgetary transparency. Professor Zhang, what's the origin of your investigation of the transparency of the government budget?
那么这个问题呢，就是自从我参加上海市人大会议引发的。会议上呢，大家都要审查这个预算，那么这个时候呢，就需要有很多信息来判断这些钱到底花的值不值。但是呢，我就发现，就是政府能够提供的信息非常有限。你很难判断这个钱到底花的好不好。
Professor Zhang has been a deputy in the National People's Congress for 10 years. His specialty is government budget reports, and he is not satisfied. There are always restrictions on disclosures, he laments. Undaunted, he dares to vote against some budgetary-related regulations. He tells me that his hair has turned gray in hopes of sunny finance. Why is transparency so important, and you've called it sunny finance?
那么因为社会公众把很大一笔钱交给了政府，那么它使用的好坏，很大程度上就取决于就是是否有社会公众的监督。
部门呢也有一些信息，就比如说，这个也是办公厅的。
Every year, Jiang Hong and his team investigates and rates the transparency of 31 provincial government budgets. You have devised a transparency ranking of the budget of the provinces and major cities. How does that work?
为了这个评价这个政府的信息公开，特别是在财政信息公开方面，我们设计了一个问卷。这个问卷呢，包括政府财政的一些基本信息。另一方面呢，我们也通过网络进行查询，那么然后把这些信息收集起来，看看作为一个普通公民，他能够在现有的情况下，能够在多大程度上知道政府的信息。总的情况来看，我们国家的这个财政透明度水平还非常低。
When I visit Jiang Hong, he and his team are discussing next year's report. How many questionnaires do you send out or requests for information, and what percentage do you get back?
113 questions we just send to them for one government. In average, we get 20%.
20%.
20% information. But this is both in application and in searching in internet.
Oh, okay. So how many answers do you get?
I mean that 80% they will give us a response, but not only in letter, but in email, call, or fax.
So some 80% by Funji Basha will set some kind of a response. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, that's a good response rate.
That sounds good. What they answer.
Yeah. Okay. But that's the first step, at least. They're not ignoring you because maybe you're too powerful to ignore. Zhang Heng argues that China must establish rules for using public capital. Citizens, he says, must know how the government spends money, participate in the policy-making process, and supervise the implementation of policy. In 2012, when the budget law draft was published online, it received more than 330,000 comments, an astounding number, the second largest ever. But how to respond, how to meet public demands, is a major challenge for government. Almost immediately after becoming China's new senior leader, Secretary Xi Jinping directed officials to improve their work styles and decrease their pomp and privileges, and to stop long-winded speeches. His castigation of empty talk was greeted with widespread cheer. It was a bracing challenge to the system, resonating with public anger, giving voice to mass frustration. Secretary Xi pledged to crack down on corrupt officials and strengthen checks and balances. In the war against graft, Xi vowed to swat the flies, petty bureaucrats who aggravate the people, as well as to tame the tigers, corrupt senior officials who amass large fortunes. Xi's words were strong, but the sacking of senior officials gave notice that this time there would be teeth, not just talk. Still, with a one-party system and absent a completely free media, corruption will remain a challenge. Transparency makes officials more considered in their actions and citizens more knowledgeable in their opinions. The results, ideally, leads to a more self-managed society. This is not to say that China's one-party system is transparent, but it does reflect the view of China's new leaders that to attain such transparency is a vital goal. The old system of the government does everything cannot meet society's ever more complex needs. Government cannot possibly decide all issues, resolve all tensions, settle all disputes. If it tries, it will err. That's why non-government organizations, NGOs, are emerging in China to represent public interests and to fight for social causes. One evening, I hear a familiar French folk song on TV. It sounds like a professional teenage chorus, but it turns out to be children of migrant workers. An NGO called Jiuqian Volunteer Center organized and trained the kids, enriching their lives. NGOs are common in the U.S., but rare in China, so I decide to visit the Jiuqian Community Center. On the backs of these migrant workers and of the tens of millions like them, China has built the second largest economy in the world. Migrant children must not be forgotten. Jiuqian Center is located in Shanghai, Pudong, where many migrant workers and their children live. When school's over, children pour out of their gate as their parents wait outside to pick them up. This little girl is Shuja. She's not shy to speak with me, and she invites me to visit her home.
我住在鸡口。
在这儿到你的家多少分？3分钟。
对，差不多。
Shuja's home is close by. Her parents run a lunchroom.
你好。
你好。Shuja 好已经老朋友。你好。
我们上海一个是我爸爸。
哦。这个是，
我3姨。
你的女儿非常好，我们已经老朋友。
哦，谢谢。坐会儿嘛，你都坐。
把书包放里面。
在这。Where were you born?
河南。
河南啊。
这边口语吗？
郑州。哪个市？河南。
哪个城市？
信阳镇。
OK， 什么时候到上海？
They work as laborers, cooks, maids, these migrants from inland provinces. They work hard days, long nights. There are many children like Shuja, whose parents are migrant workers supplying cheap labor so that Shanghai can grow rich. About 6 miles westward is a wealthy community where mansions are worth millions of dollars. I arranged to meet the founder of Jiuqian Center. He's a teacher in this exclusive private school. I note the wall and barbed wires, the stark separation of children from different classes.
Where are you going?
Going to the classroom.
Okay, I don't want you to be late. You like the school here?
Yeah.
You're learning English pretty well.
Yeah.
You want to study abroad?
Good.
Or what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a director.
A director? What kind of director? A movie director?
Yes.
Wow.
I want to be a soldier.
A soldier? Yeah. Okay. Good luck.
Bye. Bye.
Zhang Yichao, a local Shanghai resident, runs the Jiuqian Center. By day, he teaches children of the privileged elite. By night, Zhang's back in Jiuqian, giving after-school lessons to children of migrant workers.
I have known many migrant kids before I meet these kids.
Yeah.
In 2002, I think it's a good chance for me to build a bridge between the rich kids and poor kids.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So now about 40 high school students, they are volunteers in Jiuqian Center.
Oh, from here?
Yeah.
So for high school students volunteer to work at, oh, that's wonderful.
He's 34, still single with no home, which he tells me does not please his parents.
I taught history in middle school and taught a theory of knowledge.
Theory of knowledge?
For high school.
Epistemology? Wow. That's in high school?
Yes.
So what type of philosophy courses do they have here?
Chinese philosophy.
On the way to the community center, Zhang tells me that in his early years at Jiuqian, he encountered problems, misunderstood motives, no social qualifications, lack of capital. What is the Jiuqian Volunteer Center and why did you create it?
9间就是一个专门给农民工子女提供课外教育的场所。 我们就是给他们开设了各种音乐艺术的课程，还有像英语电脑的课程。
Why is this necessary? Why do you have to do it? Why doesn't the normal school systems provide proper education?
是我第一次遇到9000里面那些孩子，那些农民工子女，我最震惊的就是已经21世纪了，但是他们所在的学校可能连一块黑板都没有，更谈不上那些实验室、电脑房，他们根本得不到跟城市的孩子同等的教育。所以我觉得，如果说这个社会它的成长过程中是有这么一群人是得不到公平教育的话，那么这个社会的发展是不平衡的，一定会导致问题。
是指那个，应该是指那种那个自然环境，自然。
This evening, Zhangyi Chao is using role-playing to instill values, integrity, and optimism, needed because these children, due to their migrant status, lack resources and equal opportunities. I meet Xujia again in class. The kids tell me they do not have enough space or stuff at home, so they love coming to the center. They get me to participate in a scene where children help strangers.
问他用像那些体制里的人，请我们搞一下，如果他回来让我们被强盗，你看他都这样了，我们帮帮他吧。再想一想。那好吧。What is the matter?
I'm not feeling good.
Do you want to go to a hospital?
Oh, maybe good idea. Maybe good idea. 谢谢你。Because Jiuqian is a non-profit providing free, high-quality courses, it can accommodate only about 100 migrant children. The vast majority will never get this opportunity. What you do is admirable, but you have only 60 children here. How many migrant workers in Shanghai, and how many migrant worker children? There are tens of thousands. You can only have a very small impact.
我们2个中心现在有120个孩子，他们用自己的努力来证明一点，就是他们并不是说是没有路可以走的，是只能任凭命运摆布的。比如说，我这边连续2年有2个孩子，他们被一个国际高中，连续2年全额奖学金录取。另外，我这边很多孩子已经在一些比较好的企业里面去得到实习的机会等等。看到这些自己童年的这样一些成功之后，就会受到激励。所以我觉得这是有一个示范作用，一个榜样作用了。
Wang Xunye's life was changed by Jiuqian. She now attends an international high school in Canada, but during her summer vacation, she returns to China and volunteers at Jiuqian.
And I have a lot of friends here, and I have Mr. Zhang, I have Jiuqian. I learned a lot from Mr. Zhang. Then I know there's a lot of way that I can go. Doesn't mean I can't go to high school, I can't go to university, and my life is gone.
This summer, Xinyue is in charge of a one-on-one guidance project helping young students.
So, hello everybody. I'm Masashi, and I'm from Japan, Sendai. So today we're going to talk about United World College.
And hello, I'm Wang Xingyue. I'm studying one of the United World Colleges in Canada, and I'm studying from 2011 to 2013. 然后我们 UWC 的理念是用教育去联合人、国家、文化，去建造一个和平和可持续发展的未来。
Wang Xunye was the first Jiuqian student to study abroad. Inspired by her experience, Jiuqian children realized that they too can change their own destiny. In 2008, to Zhang Yichao's credit and persistence, Jiuqian Center was licensed and became an established NGO in Shanghai. Historically in China, NGOs, non-government organizations, were very suspect. Why has this changed?
因为我觉得政府越来越意识到，所有的事情全部由政府包办，不是一个明智的选择。而政府看到 NGO 的这种力量之后呢，也表现出了一种支持、这种帮助的这种态度。像我们Jiuqian是08年注册成立的，那我们成立之后呢，浦东民政局这边就给了我们一个很大的场地，就免费让我们使用作为一个学生的课外活动中心。所以我觉得，政府的意识在改变，这样就达到一个良性的循环。
These migrant children have spirit and hope. They do not yet know that they start out life as second-class citizens. There are millions of migrant children. The virtuous circle must expand. In recent years, in order to register, NGOs had to find a patron government agency. In 2011, Guangdong province lowered the threshold. What's more, Guangzhou, the capital of Guangdong, enabled NGOs to register directly without the backing of a government agency. Tang Guoping is director of Guangzhou's NGO management office.
那么这就存在一个问题，有些要申请成立社会组织的，特别是一些公益慈善类的社会组织，他必须要先找一个业务主管单位，有一些找不到，或者呢一些业务主管单位不愿意，一些职能部门不愿意当业务主管单位，所以我们的这个推进社会组织直接登记，实际上就是要给社会组织创造一个成立登记的一个宽松的环境。
The Youth Cultural Center, located on the busiest street in Guangzhou, is the birthplace of the first youth NGO incubation base in Guangdong Province. Chu Xianzhi runs the base, which provides a free registration address to start-up NGOs.
对，3到5天批出来以后呢，可能下一步你要所有的资料要准备好，就去送进去，就正式的注册登记。
The public office is prepared specifically for new NGOs. There are 18 desks, and NGOs can start operations immediately.
这是办公区域了，社会组织的办公区域，他们平时需要的话都可以到这里来。那么这个呢是我们的那些社会组织的他们的标志墙了。目前来说呢，入驻社会组织是26个，还有4个是准备签约入驻的啊。这些社会组织呢，有些已经是申请了注册登记了，是吧？比如说这个灯塔计划，它就是来到我们这里才注册的。实际它运作了已经10年，但是一直都没办法去登记注册。
Simplifying registration has yielded many new social organizations. As of mid-2012, Guangzhou had over 4,500 NGOs. NGOs have other problems, of course, particularly raising capital and finding worthy projects. In the 1980s, Guangdong Province pioneered economic reform. Now it is pioneering social reform.
广州市也是跟着省委省政府的步伐，准备呢编制3个目录。第一个呢就是政府转移职能的目录，第二呢就是政府购买服务的目录，第三就社会组织承接政府职能的目录。那么这一块的话呢，这3个目录的编制完成，就将形成一个扶持社会组织发展的一个刚性的一个制度体系。那么这3个目录正在编制过程当中。
But But how can the best NGOs emerge? NGOs should compete in the marketplace of ideas and issues, just as businesses compete in the marketplace of goods and services. In July 2012, China's first Charity Projects Exchange exhibition was held in Shenzhen. Over 500 social organizations from Greater China participated. As NGO registration is less tortuous, the next problem is developing professional management.
哪怕政府现在管得还不错，我们认为都应该积极地创造条件，放手让社会去做，为社会的发育和成长让渡空间。
一个从主体来说呢，它的目的是要实现公共利益，不光是帮一个人，是可能帮一类人。 他通过做一件事，他帮了一类人，这种认识改变他的这种教育的这种实施的这样的一个理念方向，甚至
到了21世纪，社会创新成为解决社会问题、满足社会需求最主要的一个手段。它需要充分调动政府、企业、社会组织多方的资源，特别是注重这个对被服务对象的这样一种能力的这种培养，是一种投资，而不是简单的补贴的一种模式。 以此来解决复杂性的这种社会问题。
Innovation in social management is key. Deng Guosheng of Tsinghua University is an expert on NGOs in China. He explains that efficiency in public service is a challenge.
如果你购买服务又不去监管的话，这个服务可能就会导致资源的浪费，而且也会导致很多的这个假 NGO 来提供这种公共服务，甚至有些地方政府自己这个去办一个这个政府办的这种所谓的假的这种 NGO 来去竞争这种资源，这种情况都在所难免。所以重要的是怎么通过一种有效的方式去监督这种购买服务的这种质量，保证这种服务的质量，保证这些政府购买服务的这种资源不被流失。那另外一个呢，民间的这种组织也是存在垄断。 所以未来的这个改革的路径一定是要打破这种垄断，一定是放开，通过这个发展这种自下而上的这种草根 NGO， 引入这种竞争，使得社会组织自身能够有活力。
NGOs require the confidence of leaders to cede certain powers, and the willingness of citizens to stand up and work for what they believe to be right and worthy. Just as Guangdong Province has pioneered NGOs, it is now pioneering voting. In early 2012, an event in Guangdong had historic significance. Wukan is an ordinary village of about 12,000 people in the coastal area of Guangdong Province. But this ordinary village became world famous in early 2012 when the villagers, for the first time, voted to elect their leaders. Voting in China is sensitive and controversial. Why then the vote in Wukan? In late 2011, massive protests had erupted in Wukan over the blatant corruption of its village party leaders. Riot police laid siege. But provincial leaders reached peaceful agreement with the protesters, recognizing their grievances and establishing a new sense of local empowerment. The Wukan election was managed locally and organized well. There were no appointed candidates, and the election used secret ballots. Villagers said they were thrilled to vote. That same day, the ballots were counted.
副主任叫得嘅，委员不言行，委员有得票。
One of the candidates is 65-year-old Lin Zuluan, a party member and Army veteran who became a businessman. Lin knows administration and has wide connections. That makes him a favorite among the villagers.
对于民主，我们国家已经是实行了多年，但有件事没有做好，或是还没有做，这是事实。乌看有这个平台做了，尽量把它做好，也是个事实。
各位村民，今天选举的结果，林主任选为乌坎村第5届村民委员会主任。好。杨胜茂当选为副主任。好。
Will Wukan self-governance trigger national political reform? There's heated debate. Lu Jiuqian, associate professor from China Executive Leadership Academy, has his own opinion.
乌坎村呢，应该说是一个引起国内外，包括媒体、包括政界、包括学界，也包括普通的民众，尤其是互联网，应该说是非常关注的一件事情。 我觉得看到了这个中国民众权力的真正的觉醒，这是一部分。第二部分，整个社会的舆论氛围开始形成。第三，上层我觉得有一定的自觉性，因为这件事情最后能够得到完满的解决，是跟整个的自上而下的力量的一种自觉性有关系的。
Yes, China's leaders are aware of the vote in Wukan and its implications. When selecting delegates for the 18th CPC National Congress in 2012, Guangdong ran a contested election. It was the first time. Not coincidentally, it followed the Wukan vote. Some say that contested elections are essential for good governance and to minimize corruption. Others point to the difficulties and disillusionment with local elections, including, as it turns out, in Wukan itself, where discontent over land ownership, calls for new violence, and internal wranglings threaten the elected leadership. Is China ready for democracy? I see Minister Ye Xiaowen, Party Secretary of the Central Institute of Socialism, and ask about political reform.
中国啊，现在这个发展阶段啊，不能那么着急，是要有参与选举，慢慢来，是要有良性竞争，慢慢来。我认为中国的民主是个好东西，但是不和它的国情结合，不和它的发展阶段结合，过早的把西方那一套成熟的东西搬过来，只有把中国搞垮。
Zhang Weiwei is a professor of international relations with controversial ideas. I ask about a new freedom to debate issues, including political reform.
Actually, there is very little taboo in China today on what issues to be debated. And not to say in private, even in public. People openly debate about political reform, about one-child policy, about other policy-related issues. So China is now, at this moment, very exciting. A good example is the 5-year plan. Yeah. China's success today is a result of this regular 5-year plan. Each and every of this 5-year plan, since 3 decades ago, were formulated through extensive consultations, hundreds, thousands of rounds of consultation at different levels of society, and many different voices vying for each other and arguing with each other, which is very good for China's future. Yeah.
I love table tennis. The sharp exchanges of offense and defense, the rapid interplays of strategy, strength, and speed can symbolize China's society and politics. The Chinese people seek a society that is more open, more free, more just, more fair. They seek participation in the process of governance. They will not retreat to a closed society. Reform is risk. But in China now, perhaps for the first time, the risk of not reforming is higher than the risk of reforming. Secretary Xi Jinping knows this. That's why he's done so much so fast. China's new leaders know they face the challenge of political reform. The Chinese people, holding 1 billion cell phones, are watching.